This is KGW News at Sunrise.
All right, mark those calendars for May 1st. That is, of course, the president's date for when all adults will be able to get the vaccine. And now Oregon is moving up our dates to match it. It's 2 months earlier than what was set before.
Also this morning, an update to a story we covered earlier this week about possible zoning changes that would impact where homeless shelters and camps can set up in Portland. We're going to hear arguments from both sides of this issue in just a few minutes.
We are just so hungry to see our fans back. It's going to be a really momentous day.
Yeah, Providence Park is going to be rocking soon. We will have all the details this morning about when you can see the Timbers and the Thorns live again. Wow. That's fun. Wow, yeah. Good morning. It is Thursday, March 18th. We are itching closer to Oregon's spring break week. So let's get to Rod. We loved yesterday's sun. What's our weather doing today?
62 big ones yesterday, by the way, which is not uncommon for this time of the year. Different story today. Big low offshore. There's a cold front in the back half of this band of clouds right here. We've got rain starting to nip along the north coast for you folks up in Astoria and Clatsop County. Portland seeing increasing cloud cover. We're at 43. Eventually, we'll start to see some showers this morning, 51 at noon. Most of today's rain for Portland, Salem, and Vancouver will be this afternoon, 51, and still some rainy areas at 5 p.m., guys.
All right, Rod, right now we want to get back to that big news we mentioned right at the top of the hour. All adults in Oregon will be eligible to sign up for a COVID vaccine by May 1st. The Oregon Health Authority made that announcement yesterday, moving the state's vaccination timeline up by a full 2 months. Bryant Clerkley joins us live right now to talk more about this. Bryant, the big question is how this news impacts more vulnerable groups that were supposed to be eligible before the general public.
That is right, and good morning, Drew. If you remember the original timeline, people 45 and older with underlying health conditions would be eligible March 29th, and then May 1st was saved for essential workers. But the Biden administration has secured enough vaccine for all adults in the United States. At first, Oregon officials were cautious about changing the timeline because they wanted to be sure they would get enough doses and resources to administer them. But yesterday, OHA said they now believe they would be able to meet the May 1st sign-up deadline set by the president. Dave Baden from the OHA does caution it will still take time to get everyone through.
An opportunity for people to make appointments. Not everybody will be able to get their vaccine on May 1st, but as we go into throughout May, I think the Biden administration has said that there'll be enough vaccine for every adult to receive a vaccine by the end of May.
We asked if that means people with underlying health conditions and essential workers would be moved up so they're not competing with everyone at the same time. OHA said it's considering that but doesn't have an exact plan yet. And Governor Kate Brown's office said that it will follow up with the Biden administration about the new shipments of the vaccine. And we're expecting to find out more at a press conference on Friday. Back to you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bryant. Well, those of you not eligible yet for the vaccine may wonder how to sign up for an appointment with the state, health groups, and now pharmacies all scheduling vaccinations. It can be complicated, so we've put together a list on kgw.com of where and how to sign up. You'll see a tab, it's right near the top of the page. It's called Getting the Vaccine. It walks you through how to secure an appointment and the choices available, whether it's at a mass vaccination site like the Oregon Convention Center, a community clinic, or a pharmacy. We also have a list of the times when those appointments open up, so you'll know when to log on and try for a slot. Again, all you have to do is click on the Getting the Vaccine tab on kgw.com. Let's get to three more things to know about COVID this morning. Number one, the CDC estimates just over 22% of the country has gotten at least one dose of a COVID vaccine, which comes to 73 million people. Data shows 12% of everyone is fully vaccinated. Across the country, 147 million doses have been delivered, 113 million given out. Number two, a recent study from the CDC found women are reporting more side effects from the vaccine than the guys. Researchers looked at the first 14 million doses and found while women got 61% of the shots,
they made up almost 80% of reported side effects. They say the higher numbers may be due in part to the fact that women are more likely to report what they're feeling afterwards. And number 3, doctors believe a baby born in South Florida is the first to enter the world with COVID antibodies. The mother is a frontline worker and got the Moderna shot at 36 weeks pregnant. It's not unusual for moms to pass antibodies of any kind to newborns, and it could actually protect the baby from the virus. Those are your 3 things to know right now.
I know that there was more I could have done at LSU given the power of my office and the expectation of community members. As university president, I should have sought every opportunity to hold others accountable.
That's part of the video statement Oregon State University's president released last night. The Board of Trustees said yesterday F. King Alexander is keeping his job for now, but he's going to be on probation through the beginning of June. He came to OSU last summer from Louisiana State University. He's accused of mishandling cases of sexual assault at his old job there. A years-long investigation from a law firm in Missouri claims Alexander didn't do enough to stop or investigate instances of sexual misconduct. That includes those involving LSU's then football coach, Les Miles. Yesterday, there was an almost 7-hour meeting with OSU's Board of Trustees. More than 100 people submitted written testimony weighing in on the scandal. Others spoke, voicing their frustration.
Survivors are here at this university to learn, not to educate you or people who abuse us, or bodies like you that uphold the systems that protect those abusers. We demand you finally take action as if it is your own daughters attending this university.
The board has also decided to hire an outside consultant to help OSU come up with ways to bolster programs to combat sexual assault.
Portland City Council listened to public testimony on Wednesday regarding a proposal that would let homeless shelters and organized camps set up in more spots around the city. The council is considering this proposal, which would eliminate certain zoning restrictions and allow agencies to open shelters faster, without public comment, and in city parks or other open spaces. Yesterday, the council heard from people who are absolutely against this idea and also people who are passionately for it.
We need to set some sort of standards. This is completely out of control. I beg you, please clean up the camps. Our city used to be beautiful. I cannot drive more than 30 minutes through my city without seeing it being treated like a dump.
Put yourself in the shoes of a houseless neighbor. What would it mean to you to have a safe place to sleep, secure your belongings, a place with access to hygiene and cooking facilities, and a place where you can make and find community and support?
Yes, some passionate arguments on both sides of the table. So the council will continue to discuss this issue at the next 2 weekly meetings, and they may put a vote on this by the end of the month. If you want to weigh in, you can submit written testimony online. There's a link on Mayor Ted Wheeler's website.
Well, it has been a long time since the big fan groups of the Timbers Army and the Rose City Riveters have been allowed inside Providence Park to cheer on the Timbers and Thorns. But in a matter of weeks, that all changes. The state has released updated guidelines for outdoor events only, meaning a limited number of fans will be welcomed at home matches. So starting April 9th, 25% capacity will be allowed at outdoor sporting and entertainment events. At Providence Park, that's 6,500 people. The teams will first offer those seats to season ticket holders, so expect to see COVID safety protocols.
We're going to have staggered entrances and certain paths through the stadium that are designated, and up aisles and down aisles, and we're going to be completely cashless. We're going to have mobile ordering.
The Hillsborough Hops will also be allowed to fill their stadium to 25% capacity when their season starts in early May. Now, this provision does not include Blazer games because, again, it's only for outdoor events.
Well, the Sherwood Ice Arena is back open. The rink officially reopened last month as businesses in Washington County went from high risk to moderate. You can't just walk in, though. You have to pre-register online before you can hit the ice. There can only be 25 skaters at one time, and masks are required on the ice and in the stands.
We just implemented spectators. One spectator per skater can be here. which is brand new. And it's great because, you know, there are little kids skating here and they can now have their parents.
The rink is open for skating, but it's not allowing hockey yet because that is considered a full contact sport. That could be a fun thing to do over spring break. Lots of kids in Oregon, Rod, have the week off school next week. Hopefully the rain that you're tracking will move out by then.
Well, we have some dry and wet weather next week. Should mention all of the area ice rinks are open and have been. I think the Sherwood rink has a really good PR department because they keep getting themselves on the news, but all the rinks are open. Here's a look at Astoria down into Cannon Beach, and see the line, there seems to be a bit of a radar block, so it's likely raining all the way down to the Tillamook Valley this morning. 39 up in Astoria with rain now coming down according to our radar, 35 in Kelso. Still some cool spots, but most of us are now seeing enough cloud cover. The temperatures have actually warmed in the past couple of hours. Portland's up to 43, 38 degrees out in the Dalles right now. Here's our day. So remember, we have a cold front that moves into the I-5 corridor mid-afternoon around 3 o'clock. Here's 8 o'clock this morning. We start to see some showers picking up in the area. Pretty wet at times this morning into the noon hour along the coast, but not so much in Portland. And then we get into the afternoon hours. Now it's pretty wet. 3 p.m., fairly widespread rain. That moves out between 5 and 6, and then the evening gets more into a scattered shower pattern once again. Only around 50 degrees at the coast. Could be half-inch rain amounts in spots along the beach. Forecast models like more rain in Newport and less up around Astoria. Salem about 52 degrees. South winds breezy at times today up to 25 as that front comes marching in. This shows 53, 54 degrees up in southwest Washington. Rain at times tomorrow. More of a sun and shower pattern Saturday. Sunday still looks to be dry in the morning, dry into the afternoon, then some rain picking up later in the day. That's your forecast.
All right, Rodney. Coming up next on Sunrise, you know, it's been 6 months now since we saw historic wildfires rip through huge stretches of Oregon and southwest Washington. But some families still without a home and still wondering when help will arrive. We're going to hear from one family here in about 3 minutes on Sunrise.
And the KGW Great Food Drive still underway, and we have set a new goal of 2 million pounds of food because we passed the last one of 1.5 million. So we've raised over 1.75 million pounds. Safeway stores have a really easy way to give. You can just make a donation right at the checkout. Every dollar helps. And all this week, Willamette Egg Farms will match donations and give you a dozen eggs. To see all the ways to donate, or if you need assistance, go to kgw.com/food drive. We want to thank Pacific Foods, Toyota, Rivermark Community Credit Union, and Safeway for supporting this year's drive.